All right, the first card you have, Taurus, coming into the month is the Two of Pentacles. So decisions, decisions, decisions. This is trying to figure out your priorities and what you want. I don't know why the cards are bugging me all of a sudden for some reason. But the Two of Pentacles is saying you have some choices to make here. Now, if you're single, this is definitely telling me either you're choosing to not be with somebody that maybe you've been spending time with. You're kind of like, okay, no, I'm cutting out this energy because this is about a change. It's about a balance. And so this is you saying, okay, I'm done. I've played the games. I've done the dating, you know, and I've given people the benefit of the doubt. And I'm just not feeling like that's a really good fit for me right now. And so this is you saying, you know what, I'm going to get my priorities in order. I know exactly what I want because I'm coming in this month as this emperor. That's my theme. And so I'm going to find somebody who balances me out. That's what I'm looking for. And I hate to say it, but you may be like swipe left, swipe left, swipe left, or right. I don't know which direction on that particular site, etc. But this is definitely you saying, you know, I know what I'm looking for, and there's only, you know, a certain particular interest I have right now, because this is like big for you, Taurus. I feel like this is you saying, you know, I've been waiting to meet somebody significant in my life for a while. And so I'm not playing games. I'm taking this very seriously. If you're looking to reconcile, this is definitely a change. In fact, I feel like you needed this break from this person, whether it was wanted or unwanted, whether it was your decision or their decision. Although I kind of feel like it was your decision because of that emperor. But if this was, regardless of whose decision it is, it feels like it was much needed. Like you're going to discover this month that you needed this in order to set your priorities straight, in order to gain that balance. Because you guys have been skiwampus. Things have not been working. It feels like there's been a lot of in and out, breaking up, making up. And you're just kind of like, no, I need to figure out what the hell I want first before I could even think about being back with this person. The next card you have is how you're feeling internally coming into the month. And you have the King of Cups. So this is somebody who definitely is wanting to find love. This is somebody who's definitely open to love. So again, this is internal. This is somebody who's listening. This is somebody who's calm. Now, it can also be counseling because the King of Cups does represent. So you may be getting counseling if you're single or looking to reconcile. You may be just gaining wisdom from other people. It doesn't have to be necessarily like therapy or anything. The one thing with the King of Cups, though, is manipulation stands strong here. So if you're single, I definitely feel like there's been some manipulation in your dating life the past couple months, could be the past year or two, and you're just like, nope, this is not happening. I know what I'm looking for. Again, I'm ready to have this balance. But for some of you, you understand that you let certain dating relationships go on a little longer than they should have, or you know, were hoping a friends with benefits situation would turn into something else, even though you knew in your gut it wasn't. So the King of Cups is saying, look, you're facing reality. You know what you want. You still have faith and hope in finding love, but you're being really calm about it. You're paying attention to what people are telling you. You know, this is somebody who's listening. However, there is a fear of manipulation as well still for you. Now, if you're looking to reconcile, this is definitely you going, okay, I might be interested in listening to what you have to say if they contact you, but I know your manipulation. I know your game, and I know your bullshit, and I'm not willing to put up with it. This may also be that you're telling them unless they get counseling or unless they seek help, maybe they have addictions or some sort of issue here. This is you saying, you know, I've got my ground rules. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I know exactly what's needed, and I'm fine listening to them, and I'll be calm, and I will, you know, and I will pay attention to what they say and how they're feeling. But at the end of the day, I will not be manipulated again. The next card you have is your distant future. So distant past, excuse me. So over the past 5 years, 10 years, could be your childhood. You have the 10 of Pentacles. Now, I read this together for anybody who's single and anybody who's looking to reconcile, because this is the universe's way of saying, hey, this is something you need to pay attention to. It's either a behavior you need to avoid, that's a repetitive pattern that you need to stop doing, or it's something that you want to hang on to and bring into a new successful time of your life. Now, the 10 of Coins is about legacy. It's about a generosity. It's about excess. So whether you're single or looking to reconcile, I feel like this is why you're coming in so headstrong, because you've had this. If you're single, you may not have had like the man or woman of your dreams. You may not have had everything you wanted, like marriage or kids or whatever it is to you. Not everybody wants those things. But the 10 of Pentacles is saying, look, you've had certain points in your life with these highs that you want. You've had certain points in your life where you were extending your legacy. You were, you know, in a relationship or meeting people that you really felt you could go the distance with. So the universe is saying, remember that. this is still possible for you. And this month, you definitely need to remember that, because there are going to be some ups and downs. There are going to be some changes that need to be made. And some of them are going to be hard changes. You know, if you're single, like I said, you're meeting people, you're hoping that they're going to change. Maybe their profile says, you know, wants nothing serious, but you meet them anyways and you think they're incredible. This is saying you have to change your thinking. You also need to change the type of people you're talking to, communicating with. And it's hard. It's hard sometimes because we feel a certain way in our heart. We feel a certain way lust-wise. We feel a certain way, you know, and so it's just going to be kind of tough, I think, in the beginning, Taurus, but something good is coming your way, because I think if you hold this remembrance, whether you're single or looking to reconcile, if you hold the fact that, you know, at one point you had something significant or something that felt really significant to you and you were heading towards your goals, not even just in love. This is in all things. This is career, etc. Now, the other thing about this card, because I said it could be childhood, is that you want to uphold legacy. Maybe you have parents who had a really good relationship, or grandparents who had a really good relationship, somebody that you emulate that had a really good relationship. And you're like, you know, I don't want, or opposite, they got divorced, or the kids were, you know, separated, or whatever the case may be. Maybe they were in foster care, etc. And you're going, I'm changing that cycle. This isn't going to happen in my life. So it's really important. The universe is saying, remember what you want, remember what feels stable to you, and keep that going, that momentum going, which I don't think you have a problem, because you kind of are like, hey, I'm here making some changes, doing some stuff this month. All right. The next card you have, which I love, is the Hierophant, which is your card, Taurus. So you showing up in your read, I always think is super positive. This is your most recent past. So again, I think this goes very fluid with this. And if you're single, you're going, I'm cutting out anybody who is not, you know, anybody I've been dating that tells me, hey, I want a relationship, and then they're still on like 3 dating sites, or they're still talking to other people. This is you saying, look, I'm just going to wipe the slate clean here. And the Hierophant is allowing the universe to take control, allowing the universe to take the wheel. So I feel like the past couple of weeks, you've made some changes. You've cut some people out. If you're single and you're going, you know what? I just think that I'm going to let the universe guide me. I'm going to look for signs. It's very interesting because I said that in the beginning of your read, that I felt like you were not pushing for anything in particular. You're not out there going, I must meet somebody. I need to be with somebody. This is you saying, you know what? Okay, God or universe or whoever you believe in, I'm going to let you show me the way. This is because this is a teacher. This is religion. This is counting on something that's bigger than you. It's about allowing a higher power to kind of take control, or understanding that like there's a destiny here, and that there's a plan in place for you, and that there's a divine timing. If you're looking to reconcile, it's very similar. This is you saying, you know what? I've said my piece. I've done what I could. I've listened to them. I have tried my best, but I wanted certain things. I thought we were heading in the same direction, and they lied. They cheated. They stole, whatever it is. You're kind of going, you know what? If it's meant to be, it'll be. Whenever I see the Hierophant card, it always reminds me of that song. If it's meant to be, it'll be. Because it really does. The Hierophant reflects as like, okay, you know, here, I'm surrendering, okay? I'm surrendering. I'm not playing any games. We're on this big chessboard. I'm not moving the pieces. Interesting, you have another chessboard here. I'm not moving the pieces. Show me the way. Give me some signs here. I think both, whether you're single or looking to reconcile, you need to pay attention to some signs. And you need to pay attention to your instinct and your gut, because Taurus, out of the earth signs, is one of the more instinctual. Like Virgo, they're very factual. Taurus can go either way. You can allow your, you know, you're very hardworking and very, you know, relying on the facts, but at the same time, you can turn that and have that more spirituality quality about you. And so I really think if you haven't been the past couple of weeks or month or two, you really need to. But I feel like some of you have just been kind of like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to, like, whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. I'm tired of trying to control something that I can't. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next 2 months, throughout the rest of the year. And you have the Queen of Wands. This is awesome. The Queen of Wands is very full of passion and energy and confident, and she has a ferocity about her that's very attractive to a lot of people. So if you're single, this definitely says that you're not going to have a hard time meeting people as long as you have this confidence. Now, I say this because I feel like some of you have been torn down a little bit. That's where these changes and priorities have been made, because you've been allowing people into your life. And yes, allowing, because we have to take responsibility. We can't always say, well, it's his fault or her fault or they screwed it up. Okay, but a lot of times when it gets to that point, we already knew, we already saw signs. And it's not to blame any of us because we can't help it when we love people. But this is you saying, okay, I realize that I've let people in my life who are undeserving. I've let people in my life who don't treat me the way that I deserve. So I'm making these changes to balance out my priorities and understand what works best for me and understand what I deserve and what I'm willing to sacrifice for other people who are willing to do the same. This is you putting out into the universe what you want and getting it back. But this is you doing it in a very positive way, in a very confident way. And so this is good. Over the next, few months, I feel your confident lifting. People are going to find you very attractive. I don't think you're going to have a hard time meeting new people at all. Now, if you're looking to reconcile, you've been torn down. Like somebody's torn you down. This king is interesting because when I keep thinking about this for you, Taurus, I keep going, I hear you listening to this person who like manipulated you or just and you're like, wah, 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 wah. And I feel like your confidence level is going to be huge too. I don't know that you guys are going to get back together anytime soon because I feel like you're going to be standing alone for a while, regaining what it is you need in your life, also putting your checks and balances into play. And then if reconciliation is, something that's going to come to fruition, it will happen naturally. It'll happen because it's meant to be, not because you controlled it or they controlled it. The next card you have is the Eight of Pentacles. So this is your immediate future. This tells me that whether you're single or looking to reconcile, you're both focusing on work and focusing on yourself. You're not focusing necessarily on love. Now, if you're single, I feel like some of you have been dating. I feel like a lot of you have been avoiding it. And if you have been dating, it's been, again, few and far between. You've been kind of like, I know what I'm looking for, but I need to get myself back into structure again, figure out what is going to be the healthiest solution for me. Because again, the Eight of Pentacles is somebody who's just diligently working very hard. It's interesting because you have a lot of pentacle energy here but these are these are good pentacles. These are very good pentacles to have. And the Eight of Pentacles tells me if you're single, you're focusing on other things. Now, you're still interested in love. You're still interested in dating somebody. You're still interested in finding somebody. You don't necessarily want to be alone, but you're fine with being alone. You're fine with focusing on other things. You're fine with focusing on family or friends or home and work, etc. Because that just kind of puts you in a better mind space. And I feel like some of you have been royally screwed in the dating arena the past couple of months, where it's been like everybody you talk to that you think there's a glimmer of hope that something's going to happen or something's, going to go your way, it kind of falls to the side. So you're kind of like, you know what? I don't have the energy for this right now. So a lot of you maybe have taken a step back, etc. But this definitely tells me that your headspace is not filled with finding somebody. Again, I think relying more on, something will come along. I know it. I trust the universe. So I'm just going to work on me and everything else. If you're looking to reconcile, very similar. You're throwing yourself into work. You don't have time for the drama. You don't want to deal with this person again. I picture somebody out there. It could be for one person sitting there listening on the phone going, I've heard this over and over. Shut up. Like you're done. You're like, no. And it's not that you want to go out and rush and meet anybody else. You're just like, my focus is going to be on other things. I just can't give this person any more of my time, any more of my life. They've taken up too much space as it is. The next card you have is anything tangible that's going to come to fruition this month. Throughout the month of November, it could be in the beginning, middle, end. It could last for an hour. It could last for 10 minutes. And you have the Eight of Wands. Now, the Eight of Wands is very interesting because it can be news from afar. So it could be, the Eight of Wands is quick action. It's movement. It's force. But it's not necessarily forced movement, if that makes sense. So if you're single, I feel like somebody's coming in. They may come back from your past. But again, they're going to come in and kind of be like, hey, I like you. And you may not even be looking. Sometimes when they say that, sometimes when you're not looking is when you find people. I don't necessarily agree with that because I remember plenty of times where I wasn't looking and I still didn't find anybody and nothing came. It's not like it comes falling in your lap. But the Eight of Wands definitely tells me somebody, if you're single, is very interested in you, very magnetic. And you're very magnetic. And that may be why you become this queen. You kind of build up. And again, it could be male or female. I don't assign sex to the cards, but that's how this energy is portrayed, that you're building up. Your confidence is gaining. And whoever this person is, they come in quick and they're like not going anywhere. They're not interested in dating a bunch of people. It's going to be like a breath of fresh air. Now, if you're looking to reconcile, this is also very quick action, forced movement, there is communication coming in. If you haven't already communicated, obviously my mom over here, but, this is you either saying, you know what, screw it, I'm completely done, which I hate to say, Taurus, there's been a lot of really positive reconciliation this month and then some so-so, but I really feel like you're going to be standing on your own, at least for a little bit. I'm not saying that it can't happen at all, but I think something's going to happen and you're just like, that's it. Like, I have put up with enough. I'm done. I'm exhausted. And you're going to cut ties with them, like, completely. The next card you have is anything internal you're going to feel throughout the month. That makes perfect sense. Throughout the month, it could be beginning, middle, end. Again, last for 5 minutes, 10 seconds, whatever. You have the Four of Swords. This is resting. It's recuperation. It is exhaustion. And again, this is mentally. So if you're single, I feel like this person coming in, all of a sudden you're like, hey, I don't have to go out and try even. Like, I trusted the universe. I had faith that something was going to come in, and it comes in, and all of a sudden you're like, whew, I can rest now. Like, I was worried I'd have to get back online. I was worried I'd have to go to meetup groups. I was worried I'd have to put a ton of effort into it. But instead I said, let me put this into the higher power's hands. I need some help. I'm relying on you guys this month. And something comes to fruition, and it's allowing you to rest. It's allowing you to feel a sense of peace right now. Now, if you're looking to reconcile, I think you need to cut them out completely, because this back and forth, some of you are having communication with them. Some of you have not had any communication, but there's other avenues that you've been seeing, like social media or whatever. And it's just been kind of making you crazy, and it's making them crazy. But like, it's making you crazy in the fact that you're like, I did nothing wrong. I know there's going to be Taurus cross watchers who are saying, you know, oh, it's their fault. It's their fault. And I get it. But I really feel like for a lot of the Taurus, they were wrong at this point. And I feel like if you cut them out, this is what you're going to feel. You're going to feel resting. You're going to feel, again, this is an exhaustion, but this is overcoming the exhaustion. This is you finally recuperating from that exhaustion. And I feel like if you're looking to reconcile, it's been mentally just all over the place. It's like dizzying almost. The next card you have are your hopes and fears for the outcome. That makes sense too. Now, if you're single, this is the Devil. This could be, this is Capricorn's card. If you're single, this could be that, again, your fear is whoever this person is that's coming in is going to end up being a devil like the other people you've met. People who are maybe addicted, people who drink too much, who, you know, do drugs, people who are jealous, people who, you know, sleep around a lot, whatever it is. The devil encompasses a lot of negative energy. And so if you're single, I think that you're almost worried. And now, like I said, it could be that somebody's coming back in. And if they are, maybe you had a bout of like this type of energy with them. And you're like, oh, I don't know that I can do this because I'm worried that that's going to develop again. Or if it's somebody new, you're worried it'll develop into that as well. Again, these are hopes and fears. So this isn't actually what's coming or the outcome. So just be careful with that fear, because sometimes that fear can overthrow what you know you can have with somebody. Now, if you're looking to reconcile, your biggest fear is this devil's coming back. And I hate to say it, but like, this person is jealous. They are manipulative, and your fear of them coming back is going to continue to happen. Your fear of them coming in your life and tearing things up again is reality if you don't cut them out. You're the first time this month that I've definitively said, look, I don't think this is a good idea for you right now. And if you have this type of fear about this person or this type of worry, then it's not time. It's not time to get back together. Could you in the future? Maybe, but stand on your own 2 feet right now. I think this is time for you to be alone, or at least, you know, meeting other people if that's what you want. The next card you have is your outcome, which is very interesting. You have Judgment. The Judgment is what it says. It's judgment, but it's also meditating and it's looking back. So if you're single, be very careful that you're not judging this person. I feel like because you're kind of on this like level of kingship where you're like, I know what I want, be careful, because I feel like you could overpass or overlook somebody who could potentially be a good match for you. But because you're very quick to understand that you've been through some crappy situations, you're very quick to cut to the core this month. Again, this is a meditation. It's looking back. If somebody is coming back into your life, Taurus, and you're single and it's not the reconciliation, it's somebody from like a long time ago or somebody you really didn't think you'd see again. This is you looking back on whether or not, you know, you feel comfortable with this person, whether or not this energy overrules a more positive energy.